Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome back to the world of home tech with me, your host Paul Hibbert, and welcome to a challenge I've been set. I was set this challenge by one of my viewers who said in a comment I should try and do a video to show people smart home for under £300, but I've lost him. I can't find his comment, so I can't credit him with his idea. So let's pretend it was my idea. What a great idea. Well done, Paul. So I thought I'd show you all of these things. Look, I'm using After Effects to show you some stuff on a screen using PNG files. How clever indeed. So these are some products that I use, some products that I don't use as well, and some products mostly that I've recommended to you over the last year, but all in one video, in one handy place. Enjoy. So if you're new to the whole home automation thing, you're thinking, what is this nonsense? Well, let me explain. This is an Amazon Echo Dot. You might think of it as Alexa, but you'd be wrong, because basically Alexa is the artificial intelligence that lives on the internet that this thing talks to. All this thing does is it gives you the ability to say, what is the weather, and it sends it to the Alexa cloud, and then comes back with an answer and plays it out of the speakers. The same is true of the smart home stuff. So the Nest thermostat, for example, has a skill on the Amazon marketplace which allows this thing to talk to that thing very easily with very little effort. And what happens is when you say, set the temperature to 30 degrees, it goes through this thing to the internet, back down, and then to here. So that is basically how smart home stuff works. And it's the same thing for this bulb, and it's the same thing for this plug socket. That is why these things cost quite a bit of money compared to these things over here. These things are dumb devices. They're not smart at all, very dumb. They are controlled with a remote control. So this remote control has an on button and an off button, which turns that on and off. And it's got a whole bunch of on and off buttons because it comes in a pack of 5 and costs hardly any money compared to these things over here. So wouldn't it be nice if instead of this, we could have maybe a hub that spoke to Alexa that enabled you to control those things instead of the remote control? There is. It's called a Broadlink RM Pro. So this thing can fire RF frequencies in place of these remotes which are firing the RF frequencies. So this can control these plug sockets. In exactly the same way, it can also control this light switch up here, because this is an RF-enabled light switch. So I replaced my old light switch with an RF-enabled light switch so that this thing could switch my main lights on and off. Now a whole bunch of you are going, that's terrifying. Here's why it's not terrifying. You can see here we've got like 3 things to unplug or plug back in again, and you'll have either 2 cables sticking out of the wall or 3 cables sticking out of the wall, and all you do is you switch the electric off, take this thing off, put that thing on, switch the electric back on again. It's that simple. There's a video here which will walk you through exactly how to replace your light switch if you're feeling brave. It is quite scary, I'm not going to lie, I don't like electricity at all, but it's actually not that difficult. It's fairly simple to do. You will not regret it in the long run. So here is why I don't recommend these things. The reason I don't recommend this is because if this thing is plugged into the ceiling and you switch it on, great, it comes on. If your partner comes back and goes, I hate smart home automation, and switches that off at the wall, this thing is no longer accessible and you can't do anything with it. Trust me, just replace those things with these things. You'll be a lot happier. This thing at the bottom, this is the final piece of the puzzle. So this thing, the Broadlink RM Pro, can fire RF frequencies to control these things, but it can also fire infrared frequencies to control your TV, which is awesome, but it can only control infrared things that are in the same room as it because infrared can't go through walls. These things can be controlled all over the house by the RM Pro because RF can go through walls. So this is like an add-on from the same people. So Broadlink have made this, and it's a lot cheaper than that, to fire infrared frequencies so that you could put this in, say, your bedroom, that in your living room, and be able to control infrared frequencies in both rooms. I'm recommending you buy one of these if you don't already have one. I'm recommending you buy a Broadlink RM Pro to control both plug sockets and RF light switches. I'm recommending you buy a pack of these, and I've got links in the description for all of this stuff, by the way, just to make it clear. I'm recommending you buy a whole bunch of these all around the house. I'm recommending you buy a Nest thermostat simply because there is no cheap way of doing this, sadly, not safely anyway. And I'm recommending you forget all of the other smart home stuff. If you want to buy that stuff, there's no reason you can't buy it later on, but I'm recommending that if you want to do this for under £300, actually around £250, you can get a big pack of these, you can get a big pack of these, you can get one of these, one of these, one of these, and one of these for that price tag. Let's do it! So I've taken all of the pain out of this for you and created you a shopping list. Basically, this is a list of products that I think are a good idea going out of 2017 into 2018. Anyone that disagrees with this list is wrong. We've got the Echo Dot at $34.99. I've set the quantity to 1, but if you wanted, say, an Echo Dot upstairs and an Echo Dot downstairs, you can change the quantity to 2. And you'll see it'll update the total cost alongside it and the sum total at the bottom. So this is your spreadsheet to do as you like with. The link will be in the description for you to download this spreadsheet and update the quantities as required. So then we've got the Broadlink RM Pro at $29.99. You should only hopefully ever need one of these because RF travels through walls. The only reason you would need more than one is if you have an enormous house. If you have a massive house, you might not find that the RF frequencies will reach all over the house, and you might want to buy 2 of these. They will work in conjunction if you want more than one. But as I said earlier, they can't control infrared frequencies through walls because that is impossible. You therefore might want to buy some Broadlink Blackbeans to put in other rooms. They are $18.99. And again, you can update the quantity required accordingly. Perhaps you don't want to control lots of RF devices. Maybe you don't want this at all. This will work as a standalone device if you want to simply only control TVs and set-top boxes and you don't want to control plug sockets and light switches. So you could set the quantity here to 0 and set the quantity here to 3 because you've got 3 rooms. And you'll see what that does to the price. Then we've got these plug sockets from HomeEasy. They come with a remote control. And all you do, as I said earlier, is you teach the plug sockets the remote control frequency, and then you teach the Broadlink RM Pro the remote control frequency to act in place of the remotes. If you want to buy this dimmer switch from HomeEasy, you can buy as many of these as you like, of course. I've put in 4, assuming you have 4 rooms that you want to control. You can change that accordingly. They are only $2.99 at the moment, which is mental. But I need to point out, and I've put it in big capital letters, it does not come with remote. So you need the above 2. So the remotes that you get with the plug sockets will also control your dimmer switch, so you'll need to buy both products. You can, if you want to, when you go to this website, buy the remote on its own if you don't want any plug sockets. But what I need to point out is you must not buy the HE200. That's the one that's on your screen right now. You need to buy their full-size, proper touchscreen remote. And the reason for that is the HE200 can't control all their products. You will regret it later, I promise. If you don't want these plug sockets, just buy the dimmer, but also buy the proper full-size remote control. Finally, we've got the Nest thermostat. This is currently only £110. That is bonkers. So buy it quick before this guy realizes his mistake. Only £110. That's a real thing right now. When he realizes his mistake, it will almost certainly go up in price again. That's probably only 1st or 2nd generation. It won't be the 3rd generation Nest. I honestly don't see the points in the later generations. They just seem to cost more money and do exactly the same thing. I don't know why that's a thing. Down here, you've got your URLs. As you've just seen, I've clicked on one and it's loaded up that product. Each of these URLs will take you to that product. And if you click through these to get to the things you want to buy, I'll get a small cut of the money. It won't cost you anything, but I'll get a small cut having had referred you to that product. So you'll be doing me a big favor if you follow these links. So why, Paul, do we have another list down here? Well, it's because HomeEasy have stopped trading, which sucks because they are so good. The products are ace and they are so cheap. That's probably why they're so cheap right now. Once they're gone, and you'll need to use this list instead. If you can't find HomeEasy stuff, use Energini and GLS Touch. They're a little bit more expensive, and the consequence, unfortunately, is a bigger sum total spend. But that's life. That's life. That's what all the people say. That's enough of that. So I'll be periodically updating that spreadsheet over the next however long, forever probably. So feel free to check up on it anytime you like to see what Paul is recommending now. Visit my website. That's a cool place to go. Look at my Twitter. Do all of those cool things. I hope you've enjoyed this video. If you have, please give it a thumbs up. If you want to see some more of this guy, hit that subscribe button. And if you want to help support my channel, there'll be links in both the description and, in fact, in that spreadsheet I've just shown you. I'll see you next time. This is like some clever Said challenge. Me, your host, Paul Hibbert. I don't know why I'm touching my shoulder. It makes me feel better about myself. Pat myself on the back. I'm squinting this eye. I always squint this eye. I think people think there's something wrong with me. It's that light. It's super bright. I've said Alexa twice now and off everybody that has an Alexa because their Alexas are going, what? What? What do you want? What?